Hi everyone, I'm Alex Wolf, creator of For Glory, and I'm going to be playing a solo mode game for you today. The solo mode plays just like a two-player game, except your opponent is represented by this Ludus Magnus deck. The Ludus Magnus was the greatest gladiator school in ancient Rome, so you have your work cut out for you, and this is really going to test your skills. Each time the Ludus Magnus takes a turn, you just draw one of these cards, and it tells you what the Ludus Magnus will do on that turn for a Machination's turn, an attack, a tactic, or a reaction, depending on what part of the game you're in at that moment. So let's just go ahead and get started. I will take the first turn as the player, and the Ludus Magnus will start with the crowd's favor token. So I'll start by drawing 7 cards, and I drew 6 coin and my champion. So with a champion, I could either play it as a gladiator into one of the arenas, or I can pay the cost on the next level to train my champion to the next level. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pay 2 coin to remove this champion card from the game and put the next level card into my discard pile. So when I draw it again, it'll be stronger and it has a better ability than last time. Flama is kind of an attacking powerhouse. He also comes with blessings, which prevent damage, and he can also play tactics from your discard pile. All of the champions are very powerful. I have 4 coin left to spend, and, you know, I'll go ahead and just take a patron, which will lower the cost of tactics for me. I'll refill the supply, draw 7 more cards, which will leave 1, and then the Ludus Magnus will take their turn. The Ludus Magnus will do what it says in the Machinations section of the card. So right now, they're going to play the top gladiator from the supply deck into the Fleeting Glory arena. And if everything else is equal, the Ludus Magnus is going to choose the Fleeting Glory arena that's closest to the supply. Okay, so now we're at 3 Bloodlust, and for the first round, we are going, I didn't set this up properly, but we're going to 10 Bloodlust. Okay, so I'll play the Crooked Senator into my villa, and I'm going to play these 2 gladiators out here against Hermes. I have a good feeling I can defeat Hermes there, but we'll see. I'll use Cull to remove this card from the game, and I'm going to need more gladiators if I am indeed going to defeat Hermes. So, and you know what? Hermes seems like the best weapon to fight against Hermes. So I'm going to spend all of my coin to buy a copy of Hermes, and then I'll use Fresh Perspective to take a coin token, and I'm going to see if I can find any income cards in this deck, because I've already spent all of my coin tokens from the beginning of the game. All right, that's good. I got a couple of extra income options there. Then I will draw 7 cards to end my turn, and pass the turn to the Ludus Magnus. All right, and the Ludus Magnus will draw a card and play the top gladiator from the supply deck into the Lasting Glory arena. And so that brings us up to 7 Bloodlust out of 10. And then on my turn, I could train Flama up to level 3, which would increase his stats and make his ability a little bit better, but I would risk not drawing him in time for the battle, which I think is going to happen pretty soon. So I'm going to go ahead and just play him out into the Fleeting Glory arena. When Flama enters an arena, his text box says right here to place a blessing on him. And a blessing is going to be used for preventing damage. And I'll show you how that works during the battle. I'll play the Caster's Wife. That's a patron that is going to reduce the cost of each tactic I buy by 1 coin. And I have 5 coin to spend. And it looks like I forgot to refill this last turn. I'll spend 5 coin to buy Servant's Errand, which is an income card, which will be worth 4 coin every time I play it. I'll refill the supply, and it's back to the Ludus Magnus's turn. So the Ludus Magnus will place a gladiator into the Lasting Glory Arena and place a gladiator into the Fleeting Glory Arena. All right. Okay, and that's going to bring us up to 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 actually. And the Ludus Magnus has the crowd's favor, so we're going to go straight into the arena phase, and I'm not going to get an extra turn. That moment you wish you had bought a tactic instead of extra income. That is what I'm having right now. Okay, well, it's okay. I didn't draw the income card anyway, so we'll just say I wouldn't have drawn the tactic. No mistakes were made. The Ludus Magnus late registers by drawing 1 card from the Ludus Magnus deck for each glory that the player has, plus 1 card for each reigning champion token the Ludus Magnus has. So in the first round, the Ludus Magnus won't late register any gladiators. But I can still late register. I'll go ahead and late register Hermes by paying 3 coin, because it always costs 3 coin to late register a gladiator. And then we will determine initiative. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, and the Ludus Magnus has 5, but the crowd's favor breaks the tie, so the Ludus Magnus will go first, and the Ludus Magnus will draw 1 card, and it's going to do the top action in the combat section of the card. In this case, the first action is an attack. So the Ludus Magnus will attack with its highest attack gladiator against my gladiator with the lowest effective health. Effective health just means health minus damage that's already on the card. So in this case, there's a tie between these 2 gladiators for lowest effective health. So the tiebreaker is total stats, and this guy has more stats than this guy. So Priscus, the highest attack gladiator, is going to attack Flamma. And this is where the blessing comes into play. 3 damage are being assigned, but whenever damage is assigned, if there's a blessing on a gladiator, you remove exactly 1 blessing and prevent all of the damage. Okay, then the Ludus Magnus will draw another card, and since the Ludus Magnus already attacked, we'll do the tactic, no matter what the order is here. And the tactic in this case is to deal 2 damage to my gladiator with the lowest effective health. Okay, and that, this time, is going to be Flamma again. In this case, he doesn't have a blessing. I don't have a reaction. So Flamma is going to bite the dust. And my gladiator insurance pays out, so I gain 1 coin token. And then it's on to my combat turn. On my turn, I will attack with Kestis, and I will attempt to defeat... Well, I can't defeat anyone, but I'll attempt to deal 2 damage to Hermes. And the Ludus Magnus will draw a card for a reaction, and in this case, they do not have a reaction, so 2 damage will land on Hermes. And now I could use a tactic, but I don't have one available, so I'll pass the turn back to the Ludus Magnus. The Ludus Magnus will draw a card and attack with their lowest health gladiator against my gladiator with the lowest effective health. So Hermes is going to attack, dealing 2 damage to Andabata, and Andabata only has 1 health. I have no reaction, so the damage lands. Andabata goes to my discard pile. I gain a coin token, and that is that for Andabata. All right, and then the Ludus Magnus draws another card, and as a tactic, gets to ready the Ludus Magnus Gladiator with the highest attack. That's just perfect. I'm so excited. Okay, and then back to my turn. Hermes will attack, and when Hermes attacks, I can ready another target gladiator. So I'm going to ready Kestis and deal Hermes' attack damage, which is 2, to this Hermes, and we'll see if that lands. We'll draw a card for the Ludus Magnus, and there's no reaction. So the damage does land, and boy, do I wish I had killed Priscus instead. I have no tactics, so it's back to the Ludus Magnus' turn. The Ludus Magnus attacks with their lowest attack gladiator against my gladiator with the highest health. And so that deals 3 damage to Hermes. I don't have a reaction, so Hermes takes the damage. He only has 3 health, so he goes to my discard pile. I gain a coin token. And then the Ludus Magnus draws a card, and in this case, has no tactic. Back to my turn. Kestis will attack for 2 damage. The Ludus Magnus will draw a card for a reaction, and the reaction here is deal 1 damage to the attacking gladiator if this is an attack. And it is indeed, so Kestis will take 1, Priscus takes 2, and it's back to the Ludus Magnus' turn. Ludus Magnus doesn't have any ready gladiators, but it'll still be able to use a tactic. And the tactic in this case is to deal 1 damage to my gladiator with the lowest effective health, which is Kestis, my only gladiator. He only has 2 health. That is enough damage to defeat him, so he'll go into my discard pile. I'll gain a coin token, and the Ludus Magnus wins the battle. So the Ludus Magnus will take the glory, will take the reigning champion token, and that will allow the Ludus Magnus to draw 1 extra card next arena phase for late registration. And then we'll move on to the Lasting Glory Arena. I forgot to load that up with 2 glory at the beginning of the game, but since I don't have a gladiator here, the Ludus Magnus will win that glory without a contest. They'll take the card just to discard the card so that I can't have it. And we'll put all these gladiators back into the supply discard pile, and we'll move on to the next round. I'll refill my hand up to 7. I'll take the crowd's favor since I have less glory. The Ludus Magnus takes the Boast card and puts it on top of their deck. So next time the Ludus Magnus would draw a card, I'll just draw the Boast card and they'll do nothing, which will help me out a little bit, which is something I really need right now because I'm down 0-3 and the game goes to 6 glory. I'll refill the glory at the end of the arena phase and we'll move on to the next round. Okay, so I'll play Cull and take this business as usual and remove it from the game. And now I'm gonna need, well, I need everything, don't I? I think I need some reactions. So I'm gonna spend 4, 5 to get Vestal's Blessing. This will prevent a damage and put a blessing on the gladiator after damage resolves so that it'll prevent damage again later. I'll use Fresh Perspective and I'll try to see, yeah, I don't even know what I want at this point. I'm pretty, I need everything, so I'll spend 3 coin to buy this Shady Dealings so that I have more coin in the future. I'll refill the supply, and it's back to the Ludus Magnus' turn. So I'll draw this Boast card, and the Ludus Magnus does nothing. I'll draw 7, and it's back to my turn. Refill this as well. Okay, so I'll go ahead and reserve Vestal's Blessing. Reserve is just a way to save cards for later. I'll be able to buy it back during the next arena phase. I will spend 3 coin to train Flamma up to level 3. And I'll play Andabata into Neapolis because I do want to get that ability for my tactics to deal double damage. And then I have 4 coin to spend. And I really want this gladiator that costs 8, but I only have 6 with my coin tokens. So part of me wants to just invest in more money. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then it'll go back to the Ludus Magnus's turn. Okay, and the Ludus Magnus gets to exhaust the player gladiator with the highest attack in the Lasting Glory arena, so nothing will happen. That is pretty lucky. Okay, then on my turn, wow, I really want to win both of these battles here so that the Ludus Magnus doesn't get up to 5 glory or 4. I don't want them to win anything. I'll go ahead and cull, get rid of that card from the game, and then I have 5 coin to spend, and I'll spend 5, 6 to get Pontifex Maximus, which is a patron that allows me to put blessings on my gladiators. And on to the Ludus Magnus's turn as soon as I draw up to 7. And refill the supply. Okay, and then the Ludus Magnus gets to play 1 gladiator into the Lasting Glory arena. And of course it's Spartacus. Lucky me. And then 1 gladiator into the Fleeting Glory arena, which is a little more manageable. And then I'll go ahead and we're going up to 15 Bloodlust, and we're at 4, 5, 6, 9 right now. So I don't know how much longer I have. I don't think I'm going to try to upgrade Flamma again because I'm afraid I won't be able to draw him in time to participate in this battle, so I'll go ahead and play him. I'll put Pontifex Maximus in my villa, and now I have enough money to buy this gladiator I've wanted. So I'll pay 8 for Valentinus, and it looks like I am going all in on the blessing strategy, so hopefully I have enough time to make that work. I'll use Fresh Perspective to gain a coin token, and I'll see what I can find in the Econ deck. Okay. Well, I only have 2 coin, so I think I'm going to spend it on Optio, which is a hybrid card. It either lets me react by preventing 1 damage, or as a tactic it can deal 1 damage. I'll refill the supply, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're back to the Ludus Magnus's turn, and the Ludus Magnus will play 1 gladiator into the Fleeting Glory arena, which brings us to 14 out of 15. So I have 6. 7. And I'll play that in there. Ooh, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I probably need, I have 8, I could have up to 10. And you know what, I'm going to play Cull to get 2 coin tokens this turn so that I can have 10 coin to spend. And then I'll spend 4 to to grab Retiarius. If I can manage to play him and go first, then he'll be able to exhaust Spartacus so that I don't have to take that 5 damage. And I'll spend 4 coin, 5 coin on Turn the Tables, which is just a little reaction that can reassign 1 damage from one of my gladiators to an opposing gladiator. I'll refill the supply, and we are up to at least 15 Bloodlust. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 16. So we're going into the arena phase. I'll draw 7 cards. And we'll see if I'm able to draw either of those cards I just bought. But there is a pretty low likelihood. And it's a big no. So, the Ludus Magnus late registers first, and the Ludus Magnus will late register 1 gladiator for each glory I have, plus, or sorry, they'll draw 1 card for each glory I have, plus 1 card for the reigning champion token. So 1 total, and the Ludus Magnus will play 1 gladiator into the arena where I have the most gladiators. So that's this one. All right, that does not look good for me. Okay, and then we'll go into determine initiative. The Ludus Magnus has 1, and I have 3, so I'll go first. And I have this reaction over here, and then I have this tactic / reaction. So I'm actually looking okay. I really don't want Mordax to attack because he has 4 attack, and that is just going to hurt. I don't have enough reactions to actually block 4 damage if he attacks one of these guys. So I'm going to hope to defeat him with Valentinus right now. I'm going to deal 3 damage, and the Ludus Magnus draws a card for a reaction, and there's no reaction, so that's pretty lucky. Mordax is defeated, and I am going to pass on tactics, because well, actually no. With Pontifex Maximus, it has a reaction. When I use a tactic, I may pay 2 coin to place a blessing on a target gladiator, and that's actually better than using this as a reaction to prevent 1 damage. So I'm going to use this as a tactic. Pay 2 coin when I do so. The tactic is going to deal 1 damage to Gladiatrix, and Gladiatrix will reassign 2 damage, or 1 damage, to my gladiator with the highest effective health. So that's going to be Valentinus. And I will use this reaction to put a blessing on Kestis. And then Valentinus also has a reaction. When he is assigned damage, I may place a blessing on another target gladiator. So I'll bless Andabata as well, and Valentinus will take the damage. And then that is the end of my turn. So the Ludus Magnus will take a turn. First, they'll deal 1 damage as a tactic to my gladiator with the lowest effective health, which is Andabata, so that just gets rid of the blessing. And then, as an attack, the Ludus Magnus will attack with their gladiator with the lowest health against my gladiator with the lowest effective health. In this case, Gladiatrix has more total stats than Atrox because they're tied on health. So she'll attack for 2 damage against Andabata, and Andabata will bite the dust. And I'll gain a coin token. Okay, and that was their whole turn. So, on my turn, Kestis will attack and deal 2 damage to Atrox. And I'll draw a card for a reaction, and there's no reaction. So Atrox will be defeated. He only has 2 health. And I don't have a tactic, so back to the Ludus Magnus's turn. The Ludus Magnus will attack or would attack, but they don't have any ready gladiators, so we'll go straight to the tactic. And the tactic is to ready the Ludus Magnus Gladiator with the highest attack. And then I'll draw the next card, and we go straight to the attack, and the highest cost Ludus Magnus Gladiator will attack my Gladiator with the lowest cost, which is going to be Kestis, because he has no cost at all. He has a blessing, though, so it's just going to take the blessing off. Okay, then it's back to my turn, and I don't have a tactic, so I will pass, and the Ludus Magnus always passes right after the player passes, so everyone readies, and we redetermine initiative. We're tied at 1 agility, but I have the crowd's favor, which breaks the tie, so I'll go first. I'll attack with Valentinus against Gladiatrix, and there's no reaction. So I've defeated the last Ludus Magnus Gladiator. I'll take the Glory, I'll take the reigning champion token, and we will move on to the Lasting Glory Arena. Okay, where I'm going to lose the initiative because Spartacus has 5 agility and I only have 4 agility. So the Ludus Magnus draws a card, and Spartacus is going to attack my Gladiator with the highest health, and that's Hermes. He's dealing 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I only have enough. I only have a reaction that can prevent 1 damage, so that's not enough. So Hermes is going to be defeated. I'll gain a coin token. And hopefully there is no tactic here. Well, the tactic is to deal 1 damage to my Gladiator with the lowest effective health. One of these blessings prevents the damage and gets removed. And then on my turn, I will attack with Flamma and deal 4 damage to Spartacus, and no reaction. That's pretty lucky. So he takes all 4 damage, and then it's back to his turn, and as a tactic, he's going to deal 1 damage to my Gladiator with the lowest effective health. That's no fun. And I realize I made a mistake because I could have used this blessing to replay a tactic, which would have allowed me to put another blessing on him and deal 2 more damage to Spartacus, which might have won me this battle. But, alas. All right, it'll be back to my turn, and I pass on tactics because I don't have any I can play. And then we will ready because the Ludus Magnus always passes after the player passes. Spartacus will go first. Spartacus will attack my Gladiator with the lowest effective health, and he's dealing 5 damage against my 2. I can't block it, so Flamma is defeated. I take a coin token. The Ludus Magnus takes 2 glory. Spartacus goes back to the supply discard. My Gladiators go back to my discard pile. The Ludus Magnus takes the arena card. We refill the glory, and the Ludus Magnus takes the top boast card. And then we go back, refill my hand, and we go back to the next round. And now it's the Ludus Magnus's turn. So the Ludus Magnus will just draw the boast card and do nothing. And then I have a bunch of money. Hopefully there's something very cool that I want to buy. Well, at this point, I'd want to buy Rudiarius, but I think I've already bought 3 gladiators, because I think there's one in here if I remember correctly. So I'm using all my influence already. So I'll buy Vestalis. I'll buy Crooked Senator. And, oh, this tactic looks so sweet. It deals 3 damage, and that's going to be 6 damage with this arena ability that I have right now. So I'm going to Fresh Perspective, gain a coin token, and yeah, see if there are even more training cards that I want. Okay, then I'll refill the supply. There's nothing I really want there. Nothing I want to spend my coin tokens on anyway. And then I'll draw 4. Five, 6, 7. And the Ludus Magnus takes a turn and places a gladiator into the Lasting Glory Arena and cycles the training supply deck. Okay. And then back to my turn. I'll play another Crooked Senator. I'll use turn the table. I'll reserve turn the tables. Retiarius will go in here. I have to win both of these battles next round just to stay in the game. So this is going to be tough. I'll use Cull to get rid of a card. Then I have 8 coin to spend from my hand. 4, 8, 9. And I'll buy Retiarius. And he's going to help. He does a lot of damage, he's really fast, and he takes a lot of damage. Okay, I'll refill the supply, and then it's back to the Ludus Magnus' turn. And the Ludus Magnus will deal 1 damage to each gladiator in the Fleeting Glory Arena, so it's going to do nothing. It's a lucky break. All right. Then I'll reserve Optio. I'm going to play Valentinus into the Fleeting Glory Arena. And now this ability is safe for me, so that is a load off my mind. I was worried that we'd be fighting over that, but I guess it doesn't matter because if we fight over that and I lose the game. I'm going to reserve this tactic, and then I'm going to use Fresh Perspective to... Yeah, I'm going to look for another tactic that deals damage. I really want to make the most of that ability. Oh, and there's one. That's perfect. 3, 4, 5. Let us deal some damage. I'll refill the supply. And the Ludus Magnus will take a turn and put 1 gladiator in the Lasting Glory Arena. So now we are up to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 20. But it always seems that way until there's no time left. Okay, I'll go ahead and put these 2 guys over here, and I'll put this guy over here. And then I have 5 coin to spend. And I'll get Withstand. It never hurts to be able to block a little bit of damage. And I just want to remind myself what I have in here. Well, I can already block a little bit of damage, and I can deal a little bit of extra damage. So I'm looking good on my reserve. All right, and the Ludus Magnus takes another turn. And the Ludus Magnus places a gladiator into the arena where I have the most gladiators. So it'll be the Lasting Glory Arena. And that brings us up to 5, 6, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 out of 20. Okay. Draw my 7 cards. Refill the supply. Dropping cards everywhere because I'm nervous. No, I just like to be dramatic. All right, then here we go. I'll reserve a couple of cards. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to train Flamma up to level 4, paying 4 coin. If I don't draw him, I will really regret that, but there's no way I won't draw him. So I'll pay 3, 4, and I'll grab Inspire, which lets me ready a gladiator. So that can be pretty sweet. And then I'll refill the supply, and the Ludus Magnus takes another turn and places 1 gladiator into the Lasting Glory Arena. 2, 4, 7, 8, 11, 13, 14, 16, 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And all right, we're going to be up to 19. And I'll go ahead and I want some coin tokens because I have this card here that lets me pay 2 coin tokens or 2 coin to bless a gladiator when I use a tactic. And that's, you know, I just kind of want to make sure I can use that. Okay, I will use Fresh Perspective to try to get a new patron. Okay, and I have 5 influence, and I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I really need more influence. I'll go ahead and buy Praetor, who can deal a damage, and then I'm just going to go for a nice gladiator who actually gives all my other gladiators +1 attack as long as she's exhausted. So I can attack with her first, and then everyone else does more work for me. And then the Ludus Magnus will take a turn, and the Ludus Magnus places 2 gladiators in the Lasting Glory Arena. Okay, and that is going to be enough to bring us into the arena phase. But I get a turn first because I have the crowd's favor. The crowd really likes an underdog. They're really excited to see a team that has really had a poor showing so far get a victory. So I'll draw 7 cards. Play, yeah, I better play this over here. I don't feel very safe in this arena. And I'll play my champion over here, so it was definitely a good idea to upgrade him. He comes into play with 3 blessings now. I'll reserve Inspire. I'll play Praetor into my Villa, and I forgot to reload the supply. I have 6 coin to spend. And you know what? I'll just buy Legatus and waste a coin. I want to save my coin tokens. And then I'll draw up. And that's my whole deck. And then the Ludus Magnus late registers first, and they're just going to draw 1 card because I have 1 glory, and they don't have either of the reigning champion tokens. And I got super lucky. The Ludus Magnus just cycles the gladiator supply deck instead of late registering any gladiators. All right, and then we determine initiative. So I'm going to take this glory token along with the reigning champion token, which is very cool. I'll be able to deal more damage because each of my gladiators has +1 attack for each damage on it now. Okay, and I'll now go determine initiative over here. So I have 2, 5, 6, 7, 11, and the Ludus Magnus has 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll go first, just barely. And I want to come out and do some killing, I think. So I also want to use Periculosa to give everyone else +1 that is a tough one. I could use Retiarius to make sure that I can exhaust their gladiator that does the most damage. So that might actually be the safest bet. Well, I'll start with a tactic and see if I can just kill one of their gladiators. That might change who I attack with. So I'll do... I have to buy my reserve back for 7 coin. Yeah, I'll actually pay with this so that I have those singles to use with Pontifex Maximus over here. I'll buy my reserve back. Okay, I get to deal double damage. So I'm going to try to deal 6 damage to Valentinus. I'll see what their reaction is. And he prevents 3! So I don't quite kill him. But the good news is I could risk it. Yeah, I'm gonna exhaust him. I'm not gonna risk it. And then attempt to deal 1 damage to Volantius. Oh, and there's no reaction. So I could have killed Valentinus, but oh well. Okay, and now it's the Ludus Magnus's turn. So the Ludus Magnus will deal 1 damage as an attack to my gladiator with the lowest effective health. And that's going to be Retiarius, so I'm very glad that I attacked with him. But am I going to let him be defeated? I think not. I think I'm going to use Vestal's Blessing and prevent 1 damage and bless him. And then the Ludus Magnus will draw a card and attack with their highest attack gladiator against my highest attack gladiator. So right now, all these guys are tied for highest attack, but this one has the highest total stats. So he'll attack, dealing 2 damage to my highest attack gladiator, which is Flamma. So it's just going to remove 1 of these blessings. Okay, and then on my turn, Periculosa will attack, attempting to deal 1 damage to Valentinus, and Valentinus will prevent 1. Okay, and then as a tactic, I'm going to try to deal 4 damage to Gladiatrix, and Gladiatrix will prevent 1, so Gladiatrix is defeated. And then when I play a tactic, I can pay 2 coin to use this ability to place a blessing on a target gladiator. So I'll go ahead and bless Hermes. And that's that. On the Ludus Magnus's turn, they're going to deal 2 damage to my gladiator with the lowest effective health. That's going to be Retiarius. And then as an attack, their lowest attack gladiator will attack my highest attack gladiator. So Varus will attack Flamma. And that's that. So on my turn, Flamma will attack for 6 damage against Gallus. And they have no reaction. So I then could use a tactic. I will deal 2 damage because it's doubled to Valentinus, and no reaction. So man, I'm having a lucky streak here. And then you know what? I don't think I need to add a blessing, so I'm just gonna save my money. And on their turn, they'll draw a card. And they don't have a ready gladiator, so they'll just go straight to the tactic and move 1 damage from the gladiator with the most damage on it to my gladiator with the lowest effective health. So nothing happens now because there's no damage on any Ludus Magnus gladiators. Back to my turn, Retiarius will attempt to deal 4 damage to Varus, and Varus will prevent 3. So I do not use it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I only have 6 influence. And I cannot get rid of one of the guys in this Fleeting Glory arena since this battle's already over. So if I use Praetor to deal 1 damage, I would have to get rid of one of my gladiators. And it's kind of a trade-off because I would actually get a coin token for one of them dying. So if I think I can win without them, I would want to do that. But it's kind of a risk, and I'll lose if I lose this battle. So I will not take the risk. I'll just move on to the Ludus Magnus's turn. And once again, they're going to move damage from the gladiator with the highest damage to my gladiator with the lowest effective health. And that's going to be Retiarius. And in this case, I could use this to prevent 1 damage, but I would have to exhaust it. So again, I would have to lose a gladiator anyway. So Retiarius is going to be defeated. I'm going to gain a coin token. And it's back to my turn. Hermes will attack, attempting to do 2 damage to Varus. And Varus will reassign 2 damage to my gladiator with the lowest effective health. And that's going to be Kestis right now. And at this point, I'm gonna just prevent 2 damage to Kestis. And then it's my turn. Kestis will attack, dealing 2 damage to Varus. And Varus prevents 2 damage. And then it's the Ludus Magnus's turn. And Ludus Magnus will exhaust the player gladiator with the highest attack, but all of my gladiators are exhausted. So now I will pass, and then the Ludus Magnus always passes after the player. So everyone will ready. We will redetermine initiative. They have 4, and I have 8. So I will go first. And I think I'm just going to try to do some damage. I'm going to attack Varus for 5. And there's no reaction, so Varus is going to be defeated. And then I'm not going to play a tactic. So on their turn, their gladiator will attack my gladiator with the lowest effective health. So they're going to deal 2 damage to Kestis. And I might as well save my reaction for a better gladiator, I think. So I'll take 1 coin token. And then on my turn, Hermes will attack for 2. And when he exhausts, or when he attacks, he'll ready Flamma. But I'm attempting to deal 2 damage to Murmillo. And he reassigns 2 damage to my gladiator with the highest effective health. And that's going to be Periculosa. And I'm not going to block it. She has 5 health, so she's okay. All right, and then on the Ludus Magnus's turn, the Ludus Magnus will deal 1 damage to my gladiator with the lowest effective health. And that is going to be Flamma, because Flamma has 3, but also has the highest stats of all the gladiators that are tied for 3 effective health. Okay, back to my turn. Flamma will attack for 5 damage, and we'll see if there's a reaction. We're going to reassign 2 of that damage. Wow, just like a reaction streak. To my gladiator with the lowest effective health. That's going to be Flamma again. So that just removes a blessing. Okay, back to my turn. And I'm going to use Inspire to inspire Flamma. I'm not going to bless anything because I want to save my coin tokens. I'm going to attack Murmillo for 5 damage. I have a good feeling about this. He prevents 2, but that brings him to exactly 6 damage, which is exactly his health. So Murmillo's defeated. I'm going to take this arena card, put it over here in my villa, And this arena lets me exhaust it to choose a target gladiator I own. And my other gladiators each gain that gladiator's text abilities until that gladiator is defeated. I'm also going to take this boast card and the glory and refill the glory and move on to the next round. I'm going to refill my hand to 7 cards. I keep the crowd's favor since I still have less glory than my opponent. And I should really be shuffling all these guys in here. These all go back to my discard pile before I shuffle. All right. And on to the Ludus Magnus's turn. Ludus Magnus adds 1 gladiator to the arena where I have the most gladiators, or if I have none, it'll just go into the Lasting Glory arena. And then I will reserve a tactic and a reaction. I will cull this card from the game. I'll use Fresh Perspective to try to grab some new tactics, I think. No, I'm actually going to see if I can get a little more inexpensive influence. Oh, and Mercator is a good idea. I'm going to spend 2, 3, 4, 5 to grab Mercator because he'll give me 4 coin tokens when I play him into my villa. So I'll just get that money right back after a little while. I'll refill the supply and it's back to the Ludus Magnus's turn. And the Ludus Magnus, again, is going into the arena where I have the most gladiators, or if it's tied into the Lasting Glory arena. So we're up to 4 out of 25 in terms of Bloodlust. Okay, then I'll play Legatus into my villa. That gives me +1 agility when determining initiative. I'm going to play these 2 guys. I'm not confident that I can actually draw Flama again if I upgrade him to the highest level. So I'm just going to play him. And I'm going to play all my gladiators out there for now. I'm going to reserve this tactic. And then I have 2 coin. Well, I'm going to waste one of them, but I'm just going to buy this tactic that deals 1 damage. Or, for me, it deals 2 because of this. I'll refill the supply. And back to the Ludus Magnus's turn. And they put a gladiator into the Lasting Glory arena. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 out of 25. Take my next turn. I'll reserve this card. I mean, I better be ready with someone over in the Fleeting Glory arena, because chances are they'll put someone in there. Okay. Play Retiarius in there. Reserve this card. Put this guy over here. And I have 4 coin. I'll spend 4 on Defy Fate. It lets me just reassign damage to one of my guys. So basically the defender chooses instead of the attacker, which can be very useful. And then how much Bloodlust do we have? We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 15 out of 25. And the Ludus Magnus takes a turn and puts 2 gladiators in the Lasting Glory arena. Now we're up to 22. So on my turn, I'll draw 6 cards, shuffle and draw 1 more, Okay. And, wow, I'll just load up in here, I guess. I have my reserve pretty well stacked. And then I have 8 coin to spend. Well, I think I'll just waste one because I want to save those coin tokens to put blessings on my gladiators, but I'll take Savage Blow because why not deal 6 damage while you can. And then I'll refill the supply. And we're at 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15, 14, 15, 17, 19, 22. We're at 28 out of 25, so we're going into the arena phase. And now I'll draw my 7 cards. And, oh, that's a great time to get Patron. I'm so glad I bought him. And then I'm being sarcastic because I can't play a Patron, and I should have bought something that would be useful in this battle, because this will be the final battle. The Ludus Magnus will late register first. They don't have any reigning champion tokens, but I have 4 glories, so they'll draw 4 cards. That's 1 gladiator into the Lasting Glory Arena, 2 gladiators into the Fleeting Glory Arena, 3, 1 gladiator into the Fleeting Glory Arena, and 4, 1 gladiator where I have the most gladiators. So I am outmatched in both arenas, and I barely have any money. I spent it all on patrons, and I didn't even get gladiators to use with their influence. So we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll spend 7 coins to buy that back. And we'll determine initiative over here. I have 4, the Ludus Magnus has 4, I have the crowd's favor. Oh, I actually have 5, so I'll go first. And well, let's see. I'll attack with Rudiarius, and I can split his attack damage up, so I don't have to deal it all to one guy. So I'm actually going to just take advantage of that. I'm going to deal 2 damage to Mordax, 2 damage to Velez, 1 damage to Velez and 1 damage to Velez for a total of 4. And I'm first going to draw a reaction for Mordax, and he prevents 2. I wish I would have just killed him. And then I'll draw a reaction for Velez, and he prevents 2. And then I'll draw a reaction for Velez, and he prevents none. So I kill 1 gladiator. And then I'm going to use Brutal Strike to deal 4 damage to Mordax. He prevents 1. He only has 2 health, so he's going to be defeated. And then on the Ludus Magnus's turn, Velez will attack my gladiator with the lowest effective health, and that's Kestis. So he's going to deal 2 damage. I'm not going to spend a reaction to save him, because I think I'll be okay with Rudiarius. I'll take a coin token, and then the Ludus Magnus will draw another card for a tactic. And the Ludus Magnus could exhaust a gladiator with the lowest attack in order to deal 2 damage to my gladiator with the highest attack. But nothing's going to happen since they don't have a ready gladiator. And then I'll pass on tactics, and then the Ludus Magnus passes after the player. Now I have 4 agility versus their 2, so I'll go first. I'll deal 4 damage to Velez. And there's no reactions, so I will win this glory. Now it's 5-5, and we're going into the final battle, where I'm down 1 gladiator, but I have a good amount of tactics and reactions, so I feel like it could go either way. All right, then we'll determine initiative. That's 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 versus my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I win by 1 again. And I need to take out some gladiators. I'm gonna go with Periculosa this time, just to get the extra attack. So I'm gonna deal 1 damage to their Retiarius, and they'll react by preventing 1 damage, of course. Okay, and then I'll try to deal 6 damage to Hoplomachus. 4, 5, 6, and they'll prevent 1. But Hoplomachus takes 5 damage and only has 5 health, so that's that. Hoplomachus is defeated, and on to the Ludus Magnus's turn. The Ludus Magnus draws a card, attacks with their highest attack gladiator against my lowest effective health gladiator. That's going to be Feralus with 3 attack against Retiarius. And you know what? I think I'm just going to use Withstand and Vestal's Blessing to prevent 3 and bless Retiarius. And then they'll draw a card, and they have no tactic. It's very lucky. Okay, then on my turn, I'll attack with Retiarius. He'll deal 2 damage because Periculosa gives him +1 attack. And he'll deal that damage to Retiarius. And Retiarius prevents 2, of course. Okay, so now I'll use Pierce to attempt to deal 2 damage to Gladiatrix. And they prevent 1, so 1 damage lands on Gladiatrix. And then it's their turn, so they'll draw a card. They'll attack with their highest attack gladiator against my lowest effective health gladiator. So that's going to be Thrakes against my lowest effective health is Retiarius. So he'll lose that blessing. And they'll draw a card for a tactic. Deal 1 damage to my gladiator with the lowest effective health. Well, you know what? He's done his job. He only has 1 health. I don't want to waste my reactions on him at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and let him bite the dust. I'm going to take a coin token. And now might be the time that I want to use Scythopolis. I'm going to use a tactic to choose a target gladiator I own. My other gladiators each gain that gladiator's text abilities until that gladiator is defeated. When I use a tactic, I can pay 2 coin to bless a gladiator. I'm going to bless Hermes. And Hermes is actually also the gladiator I'm going to choose for Scythopolis. So whenever any of my gladiators attack, they'll be able to ready anyone other than Hermes. Okay. That's pretty strong. And now Flamma is going to attack. But I'm not going to ready Periculosa because I don't want to lose the +1 health, or +1 attack, I mean. So I'm going to deal 6 damage to Murmillo, and hopefully it just goes through. Oh, prevents 1. So Murmillo is still alive. I didn't play that very well. And then onto the Ludus Magnus's turn. The Ludus Magnus deals 2 damage to my gladiator with the highest effective health. And that's going to be Periculosa, so that's okay. She's still alive. And then the Ludus Magnus will attack with their lowest attack gladiator against my highest health gladiator. So, Paraculosa actually will attack for 1 damage against my highest health gladiator, which is Paraculosa. Okay, and then on my turn, Andabata will attack. He'll deal 2 damage, because Paraculosa gives him +1, to Murmillo. And Murmillo prevents 2. What a nightmare. Okay, and when he attacks, he gets to ready Flamma, because he has Hermes' ability because of Scythopolis. As my tactic, I'm finally going to use Flamma's ability. I'm going to spend a blessing from a gladiator I own, take a tactic from my discard pile, play it. So I'm going to deal 3 damage, doubled, so 6 damage, and then this goes on the bottom of my deck. So I'm going to deal 6 damage, and I'm going to deal it to Thrakes. And there's no reaction, so Thrakes has 6 damage on him. A card and deals 2 damage to the player gladiator with the highest attack. And that's Flamma, so he just loses a blessing. Okay. And then the Ludus Magnus draws another card. The lowest attack gladiator attacks the highest attack gladiator. So Ready Arius will attack Flamma, getting rid of another blessing. And then on my turn, Flamma will attack, readying Andabata, and I'll deal 6 damage to Murmillo. And he prevents 1, so Murmillo is a goner. And then I'll play this to deal 2 damage to Gladiatrix. And Gladiatrix does not react. And then on the Ludus Magnus's turn, they'll go straight to the tactic, where they will ready the gladiator with the highest health, so that's Thrakes, and then attack, and they'll attack with the highest attack gladiator against my lowest effective health gladiator, so they're going to deal 2 damage to Andabata, and Andabata's just going to bite the dust. Take my coin token. Okay, and then Valentinus will attack and try to kill Thrakes with 4 damage. He's going to prevent 2, so that's going to be enough. And then when he attacks, he'll ready Flamma. And then you know what? I'll also use this blessing as my tactic to grab this Brutal Strike. I'll grab another Savage Blow to deal 6 more damage to Paraculosa. And we'll see. He reassigns 1 to my gladiator with the highest attack, but Paraculosa will still take 5, so she'll be defeated. And then my gladiator with the highest attack will take 1 damage. Alright, and then on their turn, they're going to deal 3 damage to my gladiator with the highest agility, which is going to be Flamma. So that's 3. And I will block 1, 2. I'll reassign this back to Retiarius. He has no reaction. And I'll take 1. So it's back to my turn. I will attack with Flamma for 6 damage. And we'll see if they have a reaction. They prevent 1. So I'm dealing 5. Feralus only has 2 health. So that's going to be enough to defeat their last gladiator. I'll take the glory. And that's that. I've defeated the Ludus Magnus. Thanks for watching, everyone, and thanks for backing the Kickstarter campaign.